Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be showing you guys how I make my soap dish and catch trays. Starting out, we'll use 450 grams of clay or 1 pound of clay for the soap dish. I'll be throwing on this Hydrobat system. Hydrobats are a company from the States, if that's something you're interested in. After we center and cone here, I'll use my fingers to create a narrower base. We don't need too much extra clay down there. And then once we open up the pot, just pressing down from the center until we've got about 3/4 inch from the bat. Then we can start pulling the walls here. So just creating nice even thickness that we're happy with, and then we can just pull it open. Once we've found our shape, we'll smooth out and finalize with the rib here. Then we'll tidy up the Hydrobat and the outside of the pot. And I like to use a needle tool to create a little undercut for the bats. It helps them let go on their own a little bit easier. After that, for the catch tray, we'll be using 300 grams of clay. As always, centering first, then we'll just make a little disc here and press in and open up till the width that you would like for your catch tray. Whatever feels right. After that, I'll use a tool to create a nice flat base. And on this one here, I think I actually threw it with 350 grams of clay because I couldn't remember what I was throwing it with earlier or later last year. So better safe than sorry, but 350 grams creates a little too big of a wall. After we've cut that off, we can use the rib to tidy up those edges and the inside one last time. Then we'll use the sponge just to soften the corners there, and that's it. Once everything has dried up, we'll come back to give it a trim. So once it's centered, I'll use my trimming spinner so I can tidy up the outer wall. And this is just to get rid of some throwing lines. We don't need to remove too much material here. Once I'm satisfied with the shape of the outer wall, then using some little lumps of clay, I'll get ready to trim the foot. I like to trim the outside of the foot to the height and width that I would like the base to be, and then from there I can remove material from the inside or outside accordingly. Once that's done, we can finish up clearing out all the clay on the inside and get down to the depth that we want here. After that, I'll use the tip of a tool to create the exact center, and then I'll use a drill bit to drill down. The bonus of doing these here is you can see the thickness of the base of the pot, so if you have more material to remove, then you can take that away, or you can just keep drilling. For me, I found the foot area to be a little too small, so trimmed it out a bit, and then eyeball, line up the holes here, and then drill on through. I'm using my fingernail here just to soften the edges of the foot, and then placing a gentle stamp of the maker's mark. With these soap dishes, I like to create a small groove for the water from the soap to drain out from under the foot area. I wouldn't imagine that you would be filling up that foot area with water, but I don't know how you wash your hands, so now I can fill up the whole catch tray. Once I've got that carved out, then I'll add the stamp back in, and I like to use a finger on either side just to brace it so it doesn't warp it too much. This pot was a little bit soft to be stamping, but using my thumb I can just tidy that back up. Lastly, for the soap dish, we'll tidy up any little chunks of clay that are in there, and I didn't film it, but I'll come back with a sponge to soften up the edges of those holes so it's not too sharp. For the tray here, just like throwing, the trimming is quite simple. I just want to make a mild convex shape here so it doesn't roll around, and I'll use a flat rib and see if I can see any light underneath. Then we'll create a little bevel on the edge, and this was a little bit drier than the soap dish, so I used a sponge to soften up the surface of the clay for stamping. We'll gently pop it off of the wheel. And then we'll do a quick trim of the top of the catch tray. Once my trim spinner is centered, then I'll press down firmly to stop the pot from jumping around, and I'm just looking for flat edges here. Once that's done, use the sponge again to soften up the corners. If this is going to be something you're using every day, you don't want to have too many fragile corners that could chip easily. And that is all for the throwing and trimming of the soap dish and catch tray. Thank you guys for watching. Hope this was helpful if you're interested in throwing your own pots. If not, and you're just here for the relaxing pottery video, then thanks for watching to the end. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.